Just take one problem based on the common source amplifier. Later we can proceed with other topics. Look at this. This is where we have stopped in the last class. Just a recap. We have discussed common source amplifier with source resistance and an equivalent circuit also we have discussed using hybrid pi model. Following this, we have seen couple of equations, especially the input impedance, output voltage. Then we have shown that output the gate to source voltage is less than the amplifier input voltage by 1 plus Gm times Rs. Next we have derived equation for voltage gain AV, which is minus Gm times Rd divided by 1 plus Gm into Rs. As you can also see from this equation, the voltage gain is reduced by the factor of 1 plus Gm into Rs. So here I'll just put it in a bracket. So when you compare with and without Rs, without Rs is nothing but just simply it is minus Gm into Rd. But with Rs, you can see there is a factor here in the denominator. So AV is reduced by 1 by 1 plus Gm times Rs. Okay, when compared with AV without Rs. Okay. So its reduction, because there is a reduction in the gain. To what factor? It is 1 plus Gm into Rs. And by reducing with this reduced gain, we have other benefit also. We have discussed that in the last class. What are other benefits we are going to get by having gain reduction here? Okay, there is no doubt here the gain has been reduced here in this common source amplifier with Rs. But on the other end, the benefit what we are going to get is the stability. Okay, stability of this circuit is more. Stability against MOSFET parameters. There are various parameters in the MOSFET. So against this various parameters, this amplifier provides a stability. Okay, so this is very important. This advantage we are going to gain, but the drawback is gain gets reduced by 1 plus Gm into Rs. Output resistance is equal to the drain resistance Rd. Okay, many times you get confused with subscripts here. You should be careful about that. This is R0 output resistance, which is equal to drain resistance. Output resistance of common source amplifier without with Rs, not without Rs, with Rs is equal to Rd. And if load resistance RL is connected, then output voltage gain equation will change. This is a equation for voltage gain with RL. Here there is no RL. RL is not included. With inclusion of RL, you can see the changes from this equation to this equation. Okay, so there is only extra term here is RL, all of which is parallel to the RD. So this is the voltage gain of common source amplifier with Rs, including RL. Okay, so all these formulas which are highlighted in the box, students are advised to remember them, because you need to solve examples based on this. Okay, I think there is a material here which I would like to show. Yeah, this, which you can see in the BMSIT website, the notes has been uploaded, and here you can see that all these formulas are highlighted. Okay, with reference to common source without Rs, all these formulas has to be remembered. Common source amplifier with Rs, so these formulas you need to remember. We don't have common gate, we need not worry about this common gate amplifier, but we have this amplifier, common drain or source follower amplifier. So these formulas has to be remembered. Okay, now let us take an example based on this formulas that we have discussed so far. Okay, this is problem 2.2. I will read out the problem for you. Let us try to understand the problem, then we can solve it later. A common source amplifier without source resistance having an input signal of 50 millivolt peak. Okay, so remember this is an input signal given, which is 50 millivolt peak. This is an AC input signal and an output voltage of 1 volt peak. So for this type of amplifier, what is that amplifier type? It is a common source amplifier and without source resistance. Okay, this is the very first circuit. For that he has given that the input that is applied is 50 millivolt peak. This is the AC signal that is applied and an output voltage that is resulting from this type of amplifier is 1 volt peak. This is an output voltage that is resulting. Now look at the next part of the problem. Now if input signal is 0.2 volt peak and that we wish to modify the circuit to keep output signal voltage 1 volt peak, what should we use for RS? Assume transconductance as 2 milliampere per volt. In the second part of the problem, what we are trying to say is, if input signal is 0.2 volt peak, okay, so obviously the input signal has been increased from 50 millivolt all the way to 0.2 volt, and that we wish to modify the circuit to keep output signal voltage 1 volt peak. That means we want to have same output voltage though there is an increase in the input voltage. Okay, so input voltage has been increased from 50 millivolt to 0.2 volt. Let me write it here so that, so type of amplifier is first of all CS amplifier. So CS amplifier, this is with RS. That's a type of amplifier. Here itself it is with without RS, it is input is 50 millivolt, output is 1 volt. With RS, what they are saying is input has been increased to 0.2 volts and we want to retain the output voltage to same 1 volt only. Okay, in order to retain the output voltage to 1 volt, what must be the value of RS? This is what the problem is. Though the problem seems to be like little tricky, but it's very simple. And transconductance given is 2 milliampere per volt. This is the problem. Okay, transconductance given is this. I hope everybody understood the problem. Okay, problem will be of this nature only in examination. Students are advised to solve a variety of problems instead of focusing on one type of problem, so that you will gain an exposure to the different sort of problem. Also, any problem given in the examination can be solved easily. So you will get in examination maybe more difficult problem than this. So keep studying or solving different sort of problem. Okay, I hope you understood the problem here. We want to find here RS. So for the same output voltage, even though the input voltage is increased from 50 millivolt to 0.2 volts, the transconductance of the amplifier is given as 2 milliampere per volt. So MOSFET transconductance is given here. So now let us solve the problem step by step. So without RS, let us find out what is the voltage gain. So AV is nothing but voltage gain. Though the notation remains same, without and with. In the bracket we have shown here, this is without RS. The voltage gain without RS is V0 by VA, that is as per the definition. So output voltage is 1 volt and input voltage is 50 millivolt. So that gives us the value of voltage gain as 20. There is no unit because there is a volt by volt that cancels. There is no unit for the voltage. So voltage gain without RS is 20. Let us find out voltage gain with RS. With RS, AV, the same definition, V0 by Vi, but now input is 1 volt and output is 1 volt and input is 0.2, since input has been increased here. Okay. So now the gain is 5. As you can make an observation here, with RS, without RS, gain has been dropped. And I also told you earlier what is the amount of gain drops when the RS is included. It's nothing but 1 plus GM times RS. This is the amount which the gain has been reduced. Okay, AB without RS, let us use the formula for this, minus GM times RD parallel with RL. Okay, and which is equivalent to 20, of course. Okay, this is as per this. And AB with RS, the formula remains same, but we have in the denominator we have 1 plus GM into RS, as you can see here, with RS here. This is equivalent to 5. Let us call this as equation 1, and the second one with RS as equation 2. So now we can see that 1 plus GM into RS. So we can substitute 20 over here for minus GM into RD parallel with RL. So if you take it to numerator, you can see here our 1 plus GM into RS becomes 20 by 5, as you can see here. So in place of this, you can just substitute as 20. This entire value, let me show it in flower bracket. Okay, so for this flower bracket term, that's equivalent to 20. By this you can transfer here, and this you can take it to right hand side. So 1 plus GM into RS, which is equal to now 20 by 5. This one can be taken to other side. So GM into RS becomes 3, and we know GM, which is given already. So substitute here for GM. So RS is equal to 3 by GM, 3 by 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So RS is 1.5 kilo. So this is how the problem is. It's very simple, but only thing is you must understand the problem, and then solution will be very simple. Okay. Any questions about this problem? Any doubts or any questions? I hope you understood, everybody understood this problem, solution to this problem also. So if you have done with this, let us move on to the next amplifier, common drain amplifier, also called as source follower. Okay, this is the third amplifier which we are discussing in the module 2. The first one is without RS, common source amplifier without RS. Second one is common source amplifier with RS. The third amplifier is common drain amplifier, also called as source follower. You can see the common drain amplifier circuit diagram here. Figure A here shown here is a common drain amplifier. Okay, here the output is taken from the source with respect to ground, as you can see in the circuit. Output is taken, okay, here at the source. This is going to be the source, drain, this is gate. As you can observe here, drain is grounded since it is a common drain amplifier. Okay, whenever you make any terminal common in an amplifier, you can ground that so that it becomes easy for you to write circuit diagram. Since here it is a common drain amplifier, we are grounding the drain terminal here. Okay, and as you can see here, the input is applied between gate and the drain here. So this is ground here, so this ground point also comes here. So input is applied between the gate and drain. So this is our amplifier input, and output is measured between source and drain. So this is our output, source and drain. You must identify where input is applied and where output is measured. Okay, and look at other things in this amplifier. There is a R signal, the resistance of this AC source, V signal is an AC source, and we are measuring output at the source terminal. So therefore we have here load resistance as RL. The voltage measured across RL is denoted as V0. And other things are the input resistance. As you see at amplifier input, we already said amplifier input is a terminal gate and drain. When you see from to these two terminals, gate and drain, the resistance that is measured is nothing but R in. This is the input resistance. And output resistance is when you see the source terminal, okay, the amplifier output, which is source and drain, the resistance which is measured is denoted as R naught. So these are the other two parameters of amplifier, R in and R naught. Okay. So now let us write the equivalent circuit of this, because now we don't know what all the parameters comes in the with the MOSFET here. So to know that, we need to write an equivalent circuit for the MOSFET. We know the equivalent circuit of a MOSFET is, okay, so if you want to replace this MOSFET with its equivalent circuit between the gate and source, there must be a open circuit, and between the, this is source actually, and between the drain and source there must be a current source. This is a current source. The magnitude of current flowing here is Gm times VGS, where VGS is here. So this is the equivalent circuit of the MOSFET without channel length modulation effects. If channel length modulation effects are included, then we will have a resistance here which is small r naught, and here we measure the output voltage which is V naught, and here we have VGS which is also equal to Vi. So here we have an Vi. So this is the equivalent circuit of the MOSFET. This equivalent circuit now can be replaced for this MOSFET. Once we do that, the resulting circuit is as shown here. Okay, just see that when this circuit is inserted here between the gate and source, there is an open circuit. At source terminal there is an RL, load resistance. At source terminal there is a load resistance RL, and these two components are the equivalent circuit. I will just show it in different colors so that you can feel it. Okay, what are the equivalent of MOSFET here? So MOSFET equivalent, I will show this with the dotted lines here. So this is the MOSFET equivalent. Okay, and as you can see here, the drain is straight away grounded. The drain here in the equivalent circuit also it is grounded. Okay, and here we have an RL. Okay, between the source and the ground, the output voltage is measured here. So the output voltage is measured between the source and the ground, which is nothing but drain. So with positive here and negative here. Okay, input resistance, as you see from the gate and the source, the input resistance measured is denoted as Rin. Output resistance is, as you see here, between the source and the drain, this is output resistance. Okay, so this is the equivalent circuit. Now next you are seeing the same equivalent circuit, it's a small modification here. Okay, what modifications we have done, you can see easily here. Okay, instead of having this okay, we have denoted here the source, the upper line here represent the source. Now first of all, to write an equivalent circuit, you can write the terminals of a MOSFET. This is a gate and a source, and we have a drain here. Now from this you can easily, this source has been made at the top now, and now you can see current has to go from drain to source. You can see here also in the equivalent circuit it is going from drain to source. Look at here, it's going from drain to source. Arrow mark is upward now. Okay, so this is a current source which is this part. Okay, this blocks. Next is R0, which is parallel to drain and source. As you can see here, drain is here and source is here. This is R0. and the magnitude of current is Gm times VGS. Now let us see RL. RL is connected between source and the drain. RL here which you are seeing is connected between the source and the drain. Output is measured between the source and the drain. Source and the drain ground. So output is measured between the source and the drain. Okay, and input signal. Let us come back to the input side. At gate there is a AC source resistance. At gate there is an AC source resistance given in equivalent circuit, and here we have an AC source. Okay, AC source is connected. One goes to the R signal, other end goes to the drain terminal here. Okay, that means these two circuits are equivalent. And from here to here, the changes what we have done is we have replaced the MOSFET here with its an equivalent circuit here. The equivalent circuit is shown here. Okay. Now looking at this final equivalent circuit after rearrangement, we can now derive the equations for various amplifier parameters. Now let us move to the various amplifier parameters. First is input resistance. Looking at the MOSFET, input amplifier input, which is gate and drain, the input resistance is now, since it is an open circuit between the gate and drain, so the input resistance is infinity. So you need to know the input resistance of source follower or common drain amplifier, which is infinity. Output voltage as you can see from the circuit here, now it will be positive because current is entering this source terminal here, and output voltage is nothing but V naught, is nothing but current times these two resistances. Okay, resistances, these two comes in parallel now, R naught and RL, they are in parallel. We can replace these two resistance with a single resistance also, like this, R naught parallel with RL. We can denote as this as single resistance like this, instead of having two resistances. We can go one step beyond this and make this two resistances as one resistance, and the current flowing to this resistance is now is Gm times VGS, and we are measuring output voltage across this. Therefore this output voltage is now the current times the resistance, so which is given here. This is a current times the resistance, so that is output voltage for the common drain amplifier. Now we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law to the outer loop, and you will see what we get here. Outer loop, in the sense we are going to apply Kirchhoff voltage law to the peripheral of the circuit. This is how we apply Kirchhoff voltage law via this to the ground. Okay, so we can write here itself, it is once you apply KVL minus V signal, I am starting from here, plus VGS plus V naught equals to 0. So this is the KVL equation. So as you can see here, V signal can be derived. V signal from this can be written as V signal AC source is equal to VGS plus V naught. So you can see the equation, same equation here, which is labeled as equation 2. Okay, so V signal is equal to VGS plus V naught. Okay, now we can substitute for V naught from equation 1. Okay, substituting value of V naught from equation 1 in equation 2, here we have a substitution for V naught. So now V signal becomes now VGS plus Gm times VGS into R naught parallel with RL. So if you observe this first term and second term, VGS can be taken as common factor. So extract VGS, keep VGS outside the bracket. So you left out with 1 plus Gm R naught parallel with RL. Of course, we need to have one more bracket here. Okay, and we can also obtain equation for VGS. So VGS now equals V signal times 1 plus Gm into R naught parallel with RL. This is equation 3. Let us call this as equation 3 here. Now go back to the circuit and see what we have done. So just derived equation for gate to source voltage, which is signal voltage times divided by 1 plus Gm into R naught plus parallel with RL. Look at this circuit now. So we have Vi, this is VGS equation. This equation here, we obtained equation for this VGS now is this voltage divided by 1 plus this divided by 1 plus Gm times, okay, which is R naught parallel with RL. So it is R naught parallel with RL. So that is the equivalent of VGS. Okay, so this equation is now equivalent to this. The voltage at this point is equal to this V signal divided by this. That means here the voltage is getting reduced by the factor of 1 plus Gm into R naught parallel with RL. Okay, so this is the VGS equation that we have derived so far. Okay, now let us see the other part of the derivation. Since input resistance of common drain amplifier is infinity, we have seen that already, because there is an open circuit between the gate and the source, it's infinity. The entire signal V signal, the entire AC signal, which is labeled as V signal here, appears at amplifier input. So therefore V signal will be equal to Vi. Look at here in the circuit now what we are trying to say. I'll remove certain things here. Okay, so what we are trying to say here is since input resistance is, looking at this, is infinity, there is an open circuit here, there is no current flow here. Okay, current going through this is 0. So I is equal to 0 here, because there is an open circuit, okay, between the gate and source also. Okay, next is the signal complete this V signal. Okay, since there is no current flow, there is an open loop here. So this complete signal now becomes equal to this. So Vi here will be equivalent to V signal. Okay, let us see the changes, what it happens once Vi becomes equal to V signal for this input resistance equal to infinity. Okay, let's now move back. So once we make assume that V signal is equivalent to Vi. Okay, look at this in this equation 3, V signal in the numerator, this is equated to Vi. So now we will see the change in the gate to source voltage. Gate to source voltage is now Vi divided by 1 plus Gm times R naught parallel with RL. Let us call this as equation 4. Again, you can also observe here gate to source voltage is reduced by the factor of 1 plus Gm times R naught parallel with RL. Okay, so this is the VGS equation. Let us call this as equation 4. Now we can substitute equation 4 in equation 1. What is that equation 1? You can see that is the output voltage equation here. So far we have derived the equation for gate to source voltage. We have seen different versions of gate to source voltage. In terms of V signal, in terms of Vi, we have seen that. Now once we substitute here for VGS, we can derive the equation for the voltage. So substituting equation 4, this particular equation, in equation 1, we get output voltage equation as Gm times Vi. Gm is as usual, it comes along with V naught. So this is the VGS equation. So this is nothing but VGS we have shown, we have derived here. So Gm VGS times R naught parallel with RL, that is equation 5. So we have Vi on the right hand side and we have V naught on the left hand side. So V naught by Vi gives you the voltage gain AV. So voltage gain of common drain amplifier is V naught by Vi, that is as per the definition, which is equal to, in the numerator we have left out with Vi goes to left hand side and we have GM times R naught parallel with RL in the numerator, whereas in the denominator we have 1 plus GM times R naught parallel with RL. Okay, so this is the equation for the voltage gain. We can simplify further this equation by dividing numerator and denominator by this transconductance factor, which is GM. So once we divide here with GM and also here with GM, what is going to happen? So this GM is going to get cancelled with this, and in the numerator we are left out with R naught parallel with RL, whereas if we take this denominator, this GM here, it becomes 1 by GM, and here if we split up this plus term, it becomes 1 by GM, and this GM cancels with this GM, and you are left out with second term as R naught parallel with R. So the final equation for AV after this alteration is V naught by Vi is equal to R naught parallel with RL divided by 1 by GM plus R naught parallel with RL. Now again here we will do the approximation here between these two resistances. We have two resistances now, one is R naught and the other one is RL. Remember, this is an internal resistance and this is an external resistance. If I assume that this value is going to be very large compared to the RL, okay, so since it is in parallel combination here, okay, so the assumption is this is what I am going to do. R naught is far greater than RL. Since it is a parallel combination, larger one can be ignored, so R naught becomes negligible. So if that is the case, you can ignore R naught from this and as well as this. The remaining equation is nothing but AV is equal to RL divided by 1 by GM plus RL. So this is the final equation for the voltage gain. Okay, so students must remember this formula once again, because when the problems are asked, you cannot spend your time in examination by deriving all these relations. So just make a note of this and remember this. In the absence of R naught, this is the voltage gain for the common drain amplifier here. And also you can see here, once we set RL as infinity, or once we assume that RL is a very large value, so what will happen to this equation? Or once we set RL as infinity, okay, say that when output resistance becomes very large, this amplifier voltage gain becomes unity, as you can see here. Okay, AV becomes 1 because this RL goes away, and this denominator also, this becomes 1, and so you are left out with just an AV is equal to 1. So voltage gain becomes unity here in this case. Okay. I mean this part becomes, this becomes 1 plus this 1 by GM by RL, and thus you can easily simplify this also. If I bring this 1 by GM times RL plus 1. So once we assume that RL is infinity, this goes away. So AV will be tending to unity. Okay, that's what it is shown here. Okay. Next, let us find out what is the overall voltage gain. Overall voltage gain is GV. For common drain amplifier, as long as this input resistance is infinity, this Vi will be equivalent to V signal. Okay, so the overall voltage gain is now will be equal to the normal voltage gain, amplifier voltage gain, AV. GV becomes equal to AV, which is also equivalent to RL divided by RL plus 1 by GM. This already we have shown for AV. Now we are going to make this equated to GV here. Okay. So now with that we will find out what is the, I hope you understood now how to find out overall voltage gain equation, and we have shown that voltage gain for the common drain amplifier is 1. Since AV becomes 1, this GV also will tend to 1. Unity will be, the gain will be, overall gain also will be equal to unity. And let's look at the amplifier and find out what is the output resistance. Output resistance of the amplifier is 1 by GM parallel with R naught. You can look at the circuit and you can write that equation. Okay. As you can see that the output resistance is now So as you can see, this is R naught parallel with RL, and this complete thing becomes equal to this resistance, the current source. This is equivalent to the resistance of 1 by Gm. If you remember that an earlier, while arriving at MOSFET model, we have shown that how current source equal to the resistance as 1 by Gm. So if I replace here this current source with a resistance of 1 by Gm, okay, so in such case the output resistance becomes, and if I assume that this is RL is infinity, so this R naught will be parallel with 1 by Gm. So that is the output resistance of the common drain amplifier, as you can see here. R naught will be equal to 1 by Gm parallel with R naught. This is the MOSFET common drain amplifier output resistance. Now finally we have a summary of all the amplifier, common source amplifier without RS. You can see in all the cases input resistance is infinity. Open circuit voltage gain AV naught, which you can see here for common source without RS, which is just minus Gm times RD, and for with RS you can see there is a factor in the denominator, 1 plus Gm into RS. So open circuit voltage gain is reduced by the factor of 1 plus Gm times RS, whereas for the source follower or common drain amplifier, the AV naught is equal to unity here. And look at the R naught output resistance. Okay, so here this can be even approximated to 1 by Gm, because this R naught is very large. R naught is far greater than 1 by Gm. So that is the case, R naught can be ignored since it is a parallel combination. So output resistance of a source follower now becomes equal to 1 by Gm. Voltage gain, as you can see here, minus Gm is there everywhere except here, but look at here, just RD parallel with RL, whereas here along with this you will have 1 plus Gm into RS. Okay, more or less if you see this first and the second row, okay, so this all equations has got 1 plus Gm into RS, as you can see here, 1 plus Gm into RS, even with the total voltage gain, overall voltage gain also there is 1 plus Gm into RS. Whereas formulas a little bit differ in common drain amplifier. As you can see, voltage gain is RL divided by RL plus 1 by Gm. Overall voltage gain is almost same. This is same. Okay, so I hope you can remember these equations very easily. So these equations are useful in solving the problems here. Any questions so far? No questions? If there are no questions, I will move on to the MOSFET internal capacitances, and also we will discuss high frequency model. Look at from syllabus point of view where we have what topics we have covered. Okay, from syllabus point of view we have completed almost this portion, this first portion you can see. This is completed, and right now we are starting with MOSFET internal capacitance and high frequency models here. This topic we are starting. Okay, in the beginning we will cover this gate capacitance effect and junction capacitance, and finally we covered high frequency model and a couple of problems related to this. Okay, all right, I'm using this material for this MOSFET internal capacitance and high frequency model. As you can see, this output current or drain current equation for the MOSFET operated in saturation is given by this equation. I'll just use different pen here. Okay, so this is MOSFET internal capacitance and high frequency model. This is an equation for the MOSFET. MOSFET can be operated in 3 regions. What are those 3 regions, if anybody can recall? The first one is going to be the cutoff region. Let me write it here, first cutoff region. So first region is right here. So let me come see it. So regions of operation. Okay, what is the first region of operation, which is cutoff. The second one is going to be the trio. Third one is saturation. So depending on application, MOSFET can be operated in different regions. Cutoff region and triode, they are preferred for switching operation, whereas saturation region is preferred for amplifier application. Okay, since here in analog circuits in this course, we are going to use MOSFET as an amplifier. So here I have written equation for the drain current for saturation region, under saturation region. It is ID is equal to 1 by 2 mu n COX times W by L. This W by L is called as aspect ratio into VGS minus VT whole square. This mu n is the mobility of electron and COX is oxide capacitance per unit area. Okay, so this is a drain current equation, total drain current equation. The total drain current equation comprises again AC component and the DC component. So DC currents are denoted as uppercase letter and uppercase subscript. AC components are indicated as small letter with small subscript. So now drain current has got DC drain current and AC drain current. And even the similar change we can do it for voltage also. There is a DC gate source voltage, as you can see the notation here, AC gate source voltage. Okay, and if this equation is seen here, there is, where is the AC term present here? Because when we say MOSFET internal capacitances, we should also see capacitances related to the AC. Okay, it passes AC signals. Okay, so here the AC component, what you are seeing here, the input signal that we apply for an amplifier, okay, VGS. Okay, so this has got an AC component here. And even if you observe the MOSFET, okay, the output current and input voltage relation, MOSFET is basically voltage controlled current source, VCCS. Okay, that means a change in the input voltage makes a change in the output current. That's why it behaves as a constant current source, CCS. So this is a relationship between the MOSFET input voltage, VGS, to the output current here. Okay, so this is an AC signal. When I say input voltage, VGS is nothing but an AC signal which can be sine or cosine. Okay, when we say sine or cosine, it has got the equation, math equation, as y is equal to amplitude times, here we will have an amplitude times the sine 2 pi ft. Here there is a frequency term here. So this VGS is an AC signal. It can be sine or cosine, and the equation for that is given here. Okay, so whenever when the sine or cosine, the frequency of this is changed, corresponding drain current frequency also changes, because this term is associated with the frequency. Okay, that's why the frequency is very important. Frequency of operation of any device is very important. Okay, so this can be easily understood. Okay, so with the help of this MOSFET structure that we have shown here, as you can see, this is a DC voltage, gate source voltage. In an amplifier circuit, along with the DC gate source voltage, we also apply AC that needs an amplification. This gate source, DC gate source voltage, is required to turn on this transistor continuously on. If we make this as 0, what is going to happen? Whenever this AC goes, AC is like a sinusoidal. Okay, the MOSFET will be turned on only for the positive cycles, this cycle. Whereas for this negative cycle, MOSFET will be turned off. But to have a good amplification, in order to restore both positive cycle and negative cycle, we must have We must turn on the transistor even for the negative cycle also. How do we do that? It's done by having some DC voltage, gate to source voltage. So this gate to source voltage should not be made as 0. It must be some positive voltage here. Along with this is voltage, there is an AC signal here. So this AC signal is frequency dependent here. Okay, so any change in this frequency component here, that changes the charge, within this. Okay, this. And entire MOSFET, if you see here, it behaves like a capacitor. Okay, so what are the capacitors that we come across in the MOSFET? As you can see in the top plate here, this is going to be the metal plate or polysilicon that we call. And the bottom you can see there is a substrate here. This is a substrate. In this case, it is going to be the P-type substrate. There is a metal here. There is a substrate here. This entire thing is a substrate. Now you can see that there are two different plates. Here we have a silicon dioxide, which is a dielectric. So what is capacitor? Two plates separated by the dielectric like this. There is upper plate which is metal polysilicon, and there is a lower plate which is a P-type substrate, and here we have silicon dioxide, SiO2, this region. So this behaves like a parallel plate capacitor. And also if we see in the channel region, this region, charges keep accumulating, as you apply the gate source voltage, and positive voltage applied to the top plate, negative charges will get induced here. Okay, negative charges will get induced here. These charges are different in number at different places here. As you can see here, there are less number of charges at the drain side and more number of charges at the source side here. Accordingly, the resistance of this channel region also changes. When I say that more, the region here, more charges here, you will have a less resistance in this region. And as current flows from the source side to the drain side like this, current here will experience more resistance. Current here will experience less resistance. Okay. So that means there is an R and C component here playing within the gate region here. If you are aware of digital electronics, R and C is nothing but it is a delay. Tau is equal to R and C. That means the delay of this MOSFET now depends on the resistance in the gate region and capacitance in the gate region. So this region, resistance and capacitance plays an important role here. Okay. And these two components now, especially the capacitance component here, it depends on the frequency. Okay. So this capacitance now, any change in the AC signal frequency, okay, any change in the AC signal magnitude, that changes the DQ. When DQ changes, capacitance also changes. Okay. When this R and C keep changing, definitely this ID will be also changing. This is nothing but ID, which is nothing but we already showed here the equation where ID is now depends on VGS. GM times it depends on VGS. That means the complete transconductance is now, which is controlled, MOSFET is controls MOSFET as having the GM transconductance is now the ID, the drain current now depends on the transconductance and the gate to source input voltage that we apply. This diagram shows here how this drain current varies to the corresponding change in the AC gate source voltage. And this AC gate source voltage, what are the factors that is affecting this AC gate source voltage? It is a capacitance, a resistance, okay, the amount of charges in the plate. Okay, those are the parameters that are affecting this AC gate source voltage. Okay. Now let's come back to the point here. What are the MOSFET internal capacitance we have seen? So MOSFET internal capacitances, there are two types of built-in capacitance within the MOSFET itself. So for the time being, you can keep aside the amplifier circuit and discuss alone the MOSFET alone. And when we see MOSFET alone, there are two types of capacitance. One is called as gate capacitance, the capacitance that can be seen with reference to the gate terminal and other region of the MOSFET. And second thing is junction capacitance. So these are the broadly we can classify MOSFET capacitance into the two types: gate capacitance and the junction capacitance. Okay. in general, we can say that there are totally 5 capacitances within the MOSFET here across these 4 terminals. MOSFET by default it is a 4 terminal device, namely gate, drain, source, body. Okay, between the gate and source, the capacitance is denoted as CGS here. The capacitance between gate and drain is denoted as CGB. CGB, capacitance between the gate and the body or bulk. So these are the 3 capacitances associated with the gate. And other capacitance that are associated with different terminals is CSB. CSB is nothing but capacitance between the source and the bulk. The other capacitance is capacitance between the drain and the bulk, CDB. Totally there are 5 capacitances are there. In examination point of view, they ask you the what are different capacitance that we come across in the MOSFET. Broadly, we can classify them as gate capacitance and junction capacitance. And right now we are discussing just capacitance associated with these 4 terminals. So there are totally 5 capacitances are there. Now let us see one by one. First we will focus on the gate capacitance. Later on we will discuss junction capacitance. Okay, and here in the gate capacitance, there are 3 gate capacitance. The gate capacitance effect can be modeled by 3 capacitances, namely CGS, CGD, CGB. Okay, and let us find out the values of these capacitance and also see which capacitance is dominance. When we say value of this capacitance, we already said that MOSFET can be operated in 3 regions, namely cutoff, triode and saturation. Under these 3 regions, capacitance keeps changing. Not all these 5 capacitance will be there in all 3 regions of operations here. So let us see now. First let us assume that MOSFET is operated in the triode region here. Okay, when MOSFET is operated in the triode region, okay, this is a structure, physical structure we have shown here of a MOSFET. There is a source region, drain region, and in the channel region you can see that since MOSFET is operated in the triode region, where VDS is going to be very small for the triode region. Okay, so the condition to operate MOSFET in a triode region is drain source voltage must be less than this effective gate source voltage or VGS minus VT. This we also labeled as overdrive voltage, if you can recall it. If I make a drain source voltage less than the overdrive voltage, the MOSFET will be in the triode region. In the triode region, we can see that there is a channel depth or channel is uniform from source region to the drain region. You can see this channel is uniform. Uniform in the sense you don't see the variation in the voltage drop in the entire channel region. So channel region is uniform. So there is a uniform voltage drop from source end to the drain end here. Okay. So this can be visualized in another way, which is shown adjacent to this diagram here. So that is, you can this can be this rectangular surface that we have shown can be interpreted as a gate here, and we know that gate width of the gate is a W, which is a capital W, and there is a this is entire region is gate region. Therefore, this distance is nothing but the length of a channel, capital L. Okay, so that is shown here. This is the length of a channel from source side to the drain side here. Okay, and this is a gate terminal, gate surface here is shown here. This region is nothing but the channel region. This region, since channel region has got uniform, the surface because of this equal charge distribution in this, since VDS is kept very small. Okay, so let us see the capacitance of this. The first capacitance what we are seeing within this gate associated with gate is CGS, the capacitance between the gate and source. So this capacitance between gate and source. Another capacitance is capacitance between drain, gate and drain, like this. Okay. Now let us write the math equation for this CGS. CGS now is equal to, we already know that COX is oxide capacitance. This is a capacitance per unit area. COX is nothing but right here. COX is nothing but oxide capacitance per unit area. Capacitance per unit area. If you multiply this offset capacitance with the area of the structure, then we'll get actual capacitance. Okay, so here the area is W, and look at here, the capacitance associated with source is only the half of this length. So it is just half of this length, that capacitance associated with the source. So therefore W into half of the length gives us, multiplied with COX, this is capacitance, offset capacitance per unit area, and we are multiplying with the structure of this the MOSFET, which is W into half of this length. That gives me total capacitance, gate to source capacitance. So this can be written as half of WL into COX, and here since channel is uniform, CGS will be equal to CGD. So this is the capacitance for the MOSFET when it is operated in the triode region. So CGD also can be written as half W by L into COX. I think we'll stop at this point here. Next class we'll take up MOSFET under saturation region, MOSFET under cutoff region. I hope you understood the MOSFET in when it is operated in the triode region, and also go through the topics we have covered in today's class. We have discussed about common drain amplifier and also a part of common source amplifier with RS. Okay. So next class we'll continue with these topics. Okay.